Grand Rising, all kings and queens, all gods and goddesses, all beautiful people. I am Be Floss to God, and today I want to talk a bit about affirmations, right? How to make affirmations work for you every time to manifest your every desire, right? And what I came to realize is that a lot of people, they have problems with affirmations. They tend to say that affirmations don't work, right? But anything can work for you as long as you believe it. Okay? Now, what I've also realized is that unlike scripting and imaginal acts, because in imaginal acts you can use all of your senses, see, touch, taste, smell, right? So when you close your eyes and you're imagining, and you can actually see whatever it is that you desire, right? Or even if you're carrying on a dialogue between you and another person, you can hear that other person's voice, or you can see and touch and smell and taste something, even though it's not here in the physical as yet, right? But you are imagining it, and you can see, touch, taste and smell. It's like it becomes like more realistic, rather than when you're just repeating affirmations, like a brief statement to yourself over and over all the time. Like it's more convincing when you can see it, whether it's in your imagination or here in the 3D reality. And as they say, seeing is believing, right? That's why the imaginal acts for most people tend to be more successful, right? Because they can actually see, smell, hear, touch and taste whatever it is they desire in their imagination, even though it's not here in the 3D reality as yet. Okay, it becomes more convincing when you use your imaginal acts. Scripting, no, right? Even though you're not actually like visualizing, right? You're actually still writing the words on the paper. Your thoughts within, you're actually transferring them now to the paper, onto the paper where you can actually see it, right? Even though when you're scripting too, you might still have a little inner dialogue going on what it is you're writing, right? But you're bringing those thoughts from within into the physical as well, onto the paper. That is why you will see like more singers and rappers and stuff like that, if they're going through a tough time or whatever thoughts they may have, whether it be anger, whatever emotion they're experiencing, happiness, anger, sadness or whatever, they tend to like put it in a song, right? Rather than keeping those emotions like balled up inside, because you can show your emotions in many ways, right? But they would prefer to like write it in a song, and then transfer those thoughts onto the paper, right? And then get in the studio and into the booth and create, right? And it makes them feel better, right? So they get a sense of feeling of peace. Like when you're scripting, that's also a form of meditation. When you're scripting, because you're at peace and you're just focusing on the words that you're writing, right? And when you're finished, you feel that peace and that bliss. Okay? The same thing with the imaginal acts. So now when it comes to the affirmations now, right? And what I think people have experienced a lot of problems when it comes to affirmations is because they're not saying anything, tasting anything, touching anything. They're just speaking these words. It's like their own words, right? And they're trying to convince themselves that it is true, right? So I hope you're following me here and what I'm trying to say, right? It will become like less convincing when they're actually hearing their own voice repeating this thing that they don't already have, right? No, this is where feeling is very important and comes into play, right? Because if you can say these words and actually feel it while you're actually doing it, right? Combine both the feeling and the words, right? It will become more convincing, because conviction comes with belief, and belief comes with persistence. And that is another thing too. Like people would do these affirmations, right, without feeling or whatever, and I call them dead words with no feeling, just dead words. Even though, yes, I said in a couple of videos you don't have to use feeling to manifest, which is true, as long as you persist in it, right? But when it comes to affirmations and certain stuff, people, especially affirmations, they will start, and because they don't feel it and it doesn't seem convincing to them, they will give up. So they don't persist, right? So it doesn't come about. So that would be their belief, is that the affirmations don't work, right? But when you invoke feeling, feeling helps to put you into the state of the wish fulfilled faster, right? So this is what you can do with your affirmations, right? You can either keep on saying them even though you don't feel convinced. Just persist and persist and persist, and eventually you will become convinced, and it will turn into a belief, because that is the law. Whatever you persist in, it leads to belief. But as I said before, people tend to give up fast because they don't actually feel it, right? Or what you can do is, before you start your affirmations, just give thanks. Like, I thank you, Father. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you so much. I thank you, Father. I thank you. Or repeat the phrase, isn't it wonderful? Something extremely wonderful is happening to me right now. Isn't it wonderful? Something extremely wonderful is happening to me right now. Or you can think of an experience you had in the past or something recent, right, that made you feel good within, right? And after you created that feeling within from saying the thank you, the isn't it wonderful, or just thinking about something that you have experienced recently or in the past, something that brings that joy and a sense of gratitude, then you can switch, right? As soon as you get that feeling, switch now to the affirmations that you desire, right? The intentions, right? And that is why I feel affirmations don't work. Where it doesn't work for a lot of people, or where they say affirmations don't work, because it's the feeling and the persistence, right? And because they don't have that feeling, as soon as they would like, they tend to give up, right? So just persist and persist in the affirmations until you are convinced, because eventually you will become convinced. So no matter how long it takes, if it takes you 300 times, 400 times, it doesn't matter, right? But to get you into the state of the wish fulfilled faster, invoke feelings while you are saying these things, while you are saying, repeating your affirmations. Because it's not what you say, it is how you say it. Now, for those of you who know Muhammad Ali, the boxer, he was big on imaginary acts and affirmations as well, right? And he would always say, I am the greatest, I am the greatest. And he said it even before he became the greatest, right? But if you look back at his videos, you can go on YouTube and look at his videos, like the way how he would speak and say these things with total conviction, even if he didn't believe it at first, because that's what he said. When he said he was the greatest at first, he didn't even believe it. But the way how he would say it and persist in it, that he would say it with so much conviction that he had no choice but to believe it. He didn't just say, I am the greatest, I am the greatest, I am the greatest. He said it like this, I am the greatest. And he would do that consistently, you know, speak it with conviction, and that will put him into the state of the wish fulfilled even faster. Neville Goddard even talked about affirmations as well, right? But he didn't speak of them as much as he would talk about the imaginary acts, right? But one of his affirmations, and y'all could check it out on YouTube, was for those people who would like to get married, right? And the affirmation was, I am happily and blissfully married. I am blissfully happy. I am happily and blissfully married. I am blissfully happy, right? So when you say your affirmations, just take your time. Take your time and say it and actually feel it. And from that affirmation that I just said, you see the way how he said it, and that is how he actually said it. Y'all can go on YouTube and look for it. And never got his marriage affirmations or something like that, or affirmations for love. I am happily and blissfully married. I am blissfully happy. He didn't just say, I am happily and blissfully married. I am blissfully happy. Now, the way how you say that, it's going to take you even more and more time to actually get to actually convince yourself, right? Or to actually believe it, or to actually put you in the state of the wish fulfilled, if you just say it like that. But if you say it now with meaning, I am happily and blissfully married, you know, that it will evoke that emotion, that feeling quicker, and put you in the state of the wish fulfilled faster, right? So you follow me, you catch the drift of where I'm coming from, right? Because as I said before, with imaginary acts, you're actually seeing. And as they say, seeing is believing. You're seeing, you could touch, you could taste, you could smell. So that can actually put you in the state of the wish fulfilled faster, right? Even though it's not here in the 3D reality as yet, when you close your eyes and you're seeing whatever you want to see, touch, taste, hear that inner dialogue, that conversation you're carrying on with a person, it's more convincing. Scripting now, like you're more focused now, it's like a meditation, you know, so you're in that peaceful state and you're writing these words and you're transferring these thoughts now onto paper where you can actually see it, right? And when you're finished now, right, you actually feel that peace and that bliss, because that's like an act that you just performed, right? That's like a seed you just created, being in that peace, right? And it's more convincing to you, because those thoughts that you have now, you actually released it now on the paper. Your imaginary acts, the same thing, you just released it. But with those words now, like without the feeling, like I mean, like, it isn't really like nothing to release. Even though like the more you persist in it, you're still impressing the subconscious mind, right? But as I said before, a lot of people, they don't want to persist. You understand? Because it takes them a longer time when they don't invoke the feeling to get in the state of the wish fulfilled, so it's not as convincing to them, right? So when you say your affirmations, invoke the feeling in it, okay? Even if you're at peace with it and you're just repeating your affirmations, persisting it and persisting it and persisting it, you can't lose. Eventually it will become a conviction. But for the ones who tend to give up fast, they say the affirmations aren't working, try invoking feeling. Try using something, the techniques that I just said, giving thanks, isn't it wonderful, or thinking of something that would bring you joy or something, right? Something that happened in the past or experience that you had, and then switch now to your affirmations. Okay, well, you still have that feeling there, just to keep the momentum, right? And I'm just speaking from my own experience, because I had times where I used to say affirmations too, and I was like, but this don't feel convincing, right? But I find out when they start to invoke the feeling in it, while saying it, aligning the two, right? Like I can close my eyes right now and I can repeat a couple of affirmations, and it's not going to take me long at all to get into the state of the wish fulfilled. Because the more you do it and the more you invoke the feeling, the more natural it becomes. Right? So I hope this message will have helped to you, right? For those of you who may have problems with the affirmations, right? Just put the feeling along with it, right? And just see how it works for you. And persist and persist. Because the main key is to persist. Right? The main key is to persist. So let me see if there's anything else about affirmations. I think that's about it. That's about it. Right? So just invoke the feeling in it and see how that goes. Okay? And persist. So I hope this message was of help to you. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, feel free to do so. Feel free to click the notification bell as well for more videos to come. Alright? Feel free to like, feel free to comment and share your views. Okay? I am Be Floss to God, sending you love, peace, joy, prosperity and blessings as usual. And do have a blessed day. Okay? Peace and love.